My name is Helena. I'm 82 years old, and I'm about to share a truth that most people spend their entire lives trying to ignore. Everything you've been taught about putting emotions and feelings first, about sacrificing your ambitions for relationships and family feelings, most of it is a beautifully packaged lie. And society even applauds you for believing it. I spent 6 full decades doing exactly what everyone expected of me. I was the loyal girlfriend, the supportive wife, the mother who always chose her heart over her head. But sitting here today, looking back over all those years, I finally realize the heavy price I paid for that comfort. Now let's get straight to the point. I don't have the time or the energy to beat around the bush anymore. So I'm going to tell you this directly. You think you're doing the right thing. You fall in love. You put your partner's needs above your own dreams. You turn down major promotions because they would require you to move away from the person you care about. You tell yourself, this is what a woman is supposed to do. This is love. I bought into that exact same story. I didn't destroy my life with cold ambition or ruthless climbing. No, my destruction was a slow, invisible decay. I destroyed my life by putting my emotions and love above my career. Let me tell you how this poison, stalpacaine, seeps into your bones. It doesn't happen overnight. The death of your potential happens through thousands of tiny, painless cuts. It starts when you're just a young girl. You have fire in your belly. You're at the top of your class in business studies. You win every debate, and everyone says you're going places. But someone you love looks at you with those soft eyes, and suddenly your big dreams start to feel selfish. Right then, your young mind does the math. It says, choosing my heart will get me love. Better keep my head down and stay close. I remember clearly when I was 15 years old, I was obsessed with numbers and the way big businesses worked. I could sit for hours in the library reading the business sections of newspapers and magazines, clipping articles about successful companies and how they grew, lost in my own world of possibilities. But my first boyfriend, he was sweet, popular, and terrified that I would leave our small town. He walked into the library one afternoon, saw my notebooks full of clippings and notes about future plans, and said with tears in his eyes, Helena, if you really love me, you will stay here and build a life with me instead of chasing some fancy city job. I didn't argue. I didn't defend my talent. I simply closed those notebooks, shoved them into the back of the drawer, and never opened them again. I swallowed my ambition to buy his love. That was the first thick layer of my emotional mask. A few years later, I met Thomas. We got married when I was 30 years old. And from that day on, I stayed by his side for 46 years until he passed away 6 years ago. I entered the working world with high energy, but I always had one foot tied to my heart. I looked around the conference tables and quickly understood what the winners were doing. They relocated for better positions. They worked late nights without apology. They said no to weekend dates when deadlines were approaching. But I couldn't. My husband needed me home for dinner. He hated being apart. So I turned down the regional manager offer that would have doubled my salary. I turned down the transfer to New York that came with stock options and a corner office. I nodded, smiled, and said, family comes first. I became the ultimate people pleaser of the heart. I walked into every opportunity, read the emotional temperature of my relationships, and instantly became exactly who my loved ones needed me to be. And you know what? The system rewarded me in the short term. They called me reliable Helena. My husband praised me. My friends envied my perfect marriage. But let me tell you the harsh truth about being a woman who puts love first. Those warm hugs and thank you kisses don't mean a thing when you know you're applauding for a life only half lived. Don't misunderstand me. I did have years of smiling, but the price of those smiles was the emptiness. Every time I looked in the mirror and saw a stranger, a woman who could have run an empire instead of just running a kitchen. I carried that emptiness home with me every single night, like a heavy blanket that slowly suffocated my own future. When our children were growing up, I was the mother who never missed a recital or a soccer game. I left my management track position the year our daughter had severe colic because a mother's place is at home. I watched colleagues who started with me climb the corporate ladder while I remained stuck in the same mid-level role for decades. Every single paycheck I earned went straight into the children's education, the mortgage payments that were listed in Thomas's name or jointly, and our daily family living expenses. I never set aside a single dollar for my own retirement account because I always believed family came first. I told myself I was doing it for love. I told myself the promotions could wait, but the years didn't wait. The salary increases didn't wait. The compound interest on a personal retirement fund that I never built didn't wait either. You convince yourself you're doing it for them. You tell yourself, I'll put my career on hold until the kids are older, until my husband feels secure, until the mortgage is paid off. Then when everyone is happy, I'll finally chase my dreams and live. That is the biggest, cruelest lie you can tell yourself. Because if you bury your potential for 46 years just to keep everyone else comfortable, it doesn't just disappear. It atrophies. Your skills rust. Your confidence fades. The doors that were once wide open slam shut forever. I learned this lesson the hardest way a woman can. 6 years ago, Thomas got sick. It was heart failure, expensive, merciless. We went from planning our retirement travels to planning hospital bills in the blink of an eye. During his final months, we set up a hospital bed right here in this living room. The house smelled of medicine and quiet fear, and there I was, sitting by his side, holding his thinning hand, doing exactly what I had practiced my whole life, putting emotions first, pretending I wasn't terrified of the future, smiling and telling him we would be okay, even as the medical debt piled up because I had no personal career savings or pension of my own, nothing to fall back on after decades of pouring every dollar into our family's needs. Thomas had always believed his protection was enough for us, and I believed it too, right up until the storm of illness swept away everything we had. On the very last night of his life, he was struggling to breathe. He pointed to a small wooden box on his nightstand. Inside was a sealed envelope with my name on it. He made me promise not to open it until after the funeral. He passed away before sunrise. 3 days later, in a house so quiet it made my ears ring, and with bills I couldn't pay, I poured myself a cup of tea, sat in this very chair, and opened that envelope. I thought it would be a standard goodbye. But my Thomas never held back. I have that letter framed on my desk right now. I want to read you exactly what he wrote. Helena, my love, I was wrong. Every time I asked you to stay, every time I said we don't need more money, I was stealing your future. You had the talent to build something big. I saw it in your eyes when you were 30. I watched you dim that light for me and the children. If I could go back, I would have pushed you out the door to seize every opportunity. Don't let our grandchildren make the same mistake. Tell them your story. Tell them that love is beautiful, but it should never be the ceiling on your dreams. That letter shattered what was left of my heart, because by the time I read it, it was too late for me. The career I could have built was gone. The financial freedom I could have given my family was gone. The version of Helena who walked into boardrooms with confidence was gone. So here's what I want you to hear from an old woman who no longer has any time left. The price of putting emotions above your own ambition doesn't come all at once. It comes slowly and quietly until one day you wake up and everything you could have been is gone forever. Your dreams will not wait. Your financial security will not wait. Your self-respect will not wait. Your future self will not wait forever. Tomorrow is the most expensive word in the English language when it comes to your career. So here is what I want you to do right now, not tomorrow. Pause this video. Open your notes app. Write down 3 career opportunities or goals you have been delaying because of a relationship, family pressure, or fear of upsetting someone you love. Then pick the smallest one and take the very first step today. If it's updating your resume, open the file and change one line. If it's asking for that raise or applying for a better position, send the email before you overthink it. If it's that course you've been putting off, register right now. Do something today. If you are watching this and you are under 40, I am begging you not to make my mistake. Love is wonderful, but it should walk beside your ambitions, not block the road. If you are between 40 and 60, it is not too late yet, but the clock is ticking louder than you think. If you are over 60 like me, I hope my story at least saves your daughters and granddaughters from repeating it. If this message woke something up inside you, do me one favor, share it with someone you love who keeps saying, I'll choose family first, or my partner needs me more. Leave a comment below with the one career step you are committing to start today. I read every single one of them, and most importantly, take off the invisible chains of love means sacrifice, because one day the opportunities will run out, and when they do, you will not get a second chance. Thank you for listening to an old woman who learned the hardest lesson 82 years too late.